Hello, and welcome to today's video. Today I will be attempting something rather ambitious. Ever since I was little, I have loved these model horses called Breyers. I used to show them in everything. Yes, show them in little horse shows. There I am, can't tell me nothing in my gray t-shirt and seahorse necklace. Anyway, the most interesting pieces to me at these shows were the customs people made. Being the horse girl and art kid, this was all I wanted to achieve. The results were less than amazing. Spray paint and hot glue maybe weren't the best choice, but that's what I had to work with. That left me with this amazing Pegasus creature. I'd actually forgot it had wings at one point until I found this photo. So we are going to make a custom sculpt with him and make him the true Pegasus he was meant to be. This video will be covering the paint removal and repositioning. Stay tuned for the sculpting and painting. Now to disclaim, this is my first time doing any work on model horses besides the aforementioned spray paint and hot glue. So I hope you can learn from this, but I'm definitely no expert. So let's get into it. The first step is to get this paint off. Sorry, past me. I bought this horse as a body at a show, so it came pre-painted, and I have no idea what's under here. I first washed with soap and water and sanded a little to see what I was working with, and I found like 6 layers of paint. So next I fill up a tub with some strong degreaser called Purple Power. I wasn't sure how long to leave it for, so I kept checking it every 2 hours. Eventually, after about 6 hours, I was worried about it not being good for the plastic, but mostly just because I'm impatient, so I took it out and just scraped the loosened paint with an x-acto knife. I wasn't too worried about scratching because of the huge amount of resculpting I have planned, plus it was pretty satisfying. Underneath, it looks like we have a smoky, which I figured since it's probably the most common color that was produced on this mold. Now it's time to come up with a concept. I tried to take into account the pose, so I wouldn't be doing too much resculpting, but that kind of ended up happening anyway. A lot ends up changing, but it was still helpful to have a jumping off point. Staying true to my word, I designed a Pegasus. I chose kind of a leaping pose, like an exaggerated jump. Now looking at this idea as well as real horse references, I mark where I want the cuts to be with a Sharpie. I keep in mind how horses move in real life. I also take into account where I will need to cut away in order to bend the joints. I'm using this Dremel 4000 with a thin metal cutting disc. I didn't film too much of the actual cutting because I was honestly scared and I didn't want to have to worry about my camera having hot plastic flung at it. Which, by the way, you should always cover up your skin and wear respiration, eye protection, and gloves while doing this. Here he is living up to his name, Smokey. It looks like he has a cool smoke tail. I'm also getting rid of the ears and shaving down the face. It's always bothered me how uneven this mold's face is. Bye bye neck. I'm leaving the top part to help it retain some strength. Okay, now here he is all cut up. I accidentally lost a leg in the process, but that's okay. Now to bend the plastic into the pose. I printed out a bunch of references of real horses as well as some anatomy sketches to make sure I get a realistic one. Making sure to have gloves on, I use an embossing heat gun to carefully heat up the plastic. I try to keep it not too close and not hold it in one spot too long so it doesn't bubble or burn the plastic. I keep an ice water tub next to me so I can dunk it in and freeze the pose into place. I'm a little rougher with it than you should be on a nicer model, but since I'll be sculpting a lot of muscle definition anyway, I don't worry about it. It's also pretty drastically different than the original pose. I did end up getting a little wrinkling in areas, so I smoothed it down with a large grit sandpaper. I will eventually sculpt over it. I used my Dremel and sandpaper to touch up some places as well as drill holes where the main, ears, and leg armatures will be inserted. And now we're all set for the sculpting process. It's looking a little crazy now, but stay tuned for the next video where I show you how to turn this chopped pony into a magical Pegasus. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to boop that like button and subscribe for more projects.